respected resource person, Dr. D. Batmanaban, respected professors, research scholars, and all the participants. A very good evening to all. I welcome you for the day 3, session 5 on the topic Insights on Regulatory Requirements for Medical Device Manufacturing and Expert, which will be delivered by Dr. D. Badmanaban, founder and director, Dhananjeevam Labs Private Limited from Coimbatore. Dr. D. Badmanaban is a technical microbiologist with over 15 years of experience in medical device industries, and he has very specialized in design and development, validation, sterilization, microbiology testing, biocontamination control, and packaging validation. Coming to his academic background, Sar has finished his undergraduation in microbiology from Bharatiyar University and masters in microbiology Amrita University, and completed his PhD from Karunya University, Coimbatore. He is the founder and technical director of Dhananjeevam Labs Private Limited. Also act as a senior consultant, Meditix Solutions, Bangalore. He is a trainer for medical device regulations and ISO standards with SGS India. His expertise and contributions include validation of medical devices, which includes drug-eluting stents, orthopedic implants, dialysis products, wound care devices, sutures, cardiovascular implants, disinfectants, ophthalmic devices, and disposables. He has developed several ISO class clean rooms and UV-based biocontamination control systems. He has extensive experience in QMS documentation, biological risk assessment, and sterilization validation and internal audits as per ISO 13485 2016 regulations. And he has also secured several grants from Government of India, from MAITI, as well as SAFSS grants for his development of prototype as well as proof of concept development in several microbiological innovations. He is also a patent holder and published several publications in SCI and Scopus indexed journals, which includes ACS Omega journals, inorganic chemistry communications, ecotoxicology, and environmental safety, etc. He has been invited as a speaker and resource person for numerous faculty development programs, webinars, and workshops for medical device and quality management, as well as entrepreneurship. He is a certified auditor, ISO 9001 2015, and he has a Six Sigma Green Belt holder and ISO 13485 2015 auditor. So once again, I welcome you, sir. The session is
Thank you so
yours.
much. Great. First of all, I just want to thank the organizing committee for such a wonderful faculty development program. And it was a great warm welcome from the organizing committee, Dr. K.M. Shaktivel, sir. And I also extend my gratitude towards the management of PSC and the conveners, Dr. Rabi Ramesh, Dr. J. Sendil Kumar, and Dr. R.R. Rashmi for inviting me for this particular event. So, very good evening, all. So, being an online session is always tasky. I'll try to make it the maximum interactive. And since it has been, the care has been taken to make sure it should not be overloaded, the message to be conveyed. I could see a various number of faculties from different branch of commerce and management is in this forum. So I try my maximum to convey the point which I have been committed for this particular faculty talk. So I just welcome you all. So I'll be sharing the screen, and you can stop me any if you have any fruitful I said, can you please confirm if the screen is visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Thank you. So this is a very new array or arena of the recent development which comes as in medical devices. So I would be giving an insight on the exact regulatory and as well as the statutory requirements for any medical device manufacturing and export to the various country. So the whole discussion for next 1 hour or 1.5 hours will be summarized based upon a brief introduction to medical devices and what are the regulations and requirements that will be and the basic necessity for any medical device to be manufactured in our country, and what are the opportunities of the medical device manufacturers, maybe a startup, or what is the basic requirement and the trend line approach towards the export, and the summary of what we are going to discuss towards the end. So the moment when you multiple things arise in your mind, because like it itself says something medical, which can be a medical, whatever comes in your mind is absolutely right. Anything which related to medical, and again devices can be any devices which you use it for our routine thing. So to make it little more interesting, I just include an image, maybe a illusionary image you could see. So maybe whatever you people understand on this, like you can have your own preparation. So what some kind of conduct towards the end. So in general, medical devices plays a very crucial role in human health, either on alignment support or recovery from any type of any type of a chronic or acute disorders or issues, and sometimes it will become a part of our routine life. So by a rule book of any US FDA, Indian or European regulation. So this is going to be an inevitable definition. A medical device is any instrument, software, implant, material or article intended by itself as a manufacturer for diagnosis. Either medical device will help you to diagnose, or it can be a preventive. It also help you to monitor your health conditions, even for treating and for minimizing the elevations of diseases. However, the only difference between the medical devices and the pharmaceutical drug is the medical device cannot do any of the changes on your body. Medical devices can be with your body, it can do its functionality, but it cannot undergo any type of a pharmacological, metabolic, or immunological action, which means it's just like a golden ring what you wear in your any of your fingers. Okay, by itself, this particular golden ring can bring you a fortune. Okay, either it can bring suffering in form of uh, uh, that, because like in Western countries they start like any human being suffering starts from ring. First comes the engagement ring, second comes the marriage ring, and third is the suffering. Likely, any ring on your finger either can bring a suffering or a fortune, but it should not change any of your part of your finger. It can change your life, but not your finger. Your finger should not be growing bigger, or your finger should not get reduced, or your finger should not any type of a modification. It should not undergo any type of changes. So likely medical devices will be within you, but it will not make any type of changes internally. All the changes will be only on supportive, or it will give only a data. So I can understand this particular definition will be the first half, and second half will be more complicated. So to make it simpler, maybe further slides will help you people have an understanding on this. So you can see this is what all medical device is about. So it's from the left. If you could see, these are the list of devices we will use it for diagnosis. Someone want to say something?
No, no, no. You can proceed, sir.
Okay. So to the left, it's diagnosis and preventing monitoring medical devices. It starts with a digital thermometer, blood pressure monitor, or nebulizer. So you can see all this thing will have an associated body. However, it will not do any change. Okay. Again, nebulizer itself cannot do any change on your respiratory issues. The drug which is used in the nebulizer does it. So nebulizer itself does not have any impact on your body. Orthopedic supports. The orthopedic supports will not heal. It will act as a supportive material for any type of your post injuries. And same happens with in case of your implants. Even it is going to be a cardiac pacemaker or any prosthetic hips. This itself does not make any change. It will be acting in the absence of your natural bones, or it can be a co-functional. By itself, it does not do any type of a change. Similarly, it is applicable for all type of the device. For example, the disinfecting medical devices generally will be using an autoclave in any of the laboratories, or you can see it anywhere in the hospitals or clinics. But these autoclaves also categorized as a medical devices when this autoclave is used to sterilize or clean any type of medical devices. This will be considered as a medical device only. So, if you could have a rough understanding, any instrument or device which will be used for medical alignment, however, it will not have its own functionality by doing an alteration or changes in your human body. It will be always a supportive, either for diagnostic or for investigation, or as a supporting alignment, which will be help you to increase your life expectancy or improve your health. But however, it will not do any internal changes like what medicine does. Okay, so this is always the line word we used to. Maybe I'm not. Generally, people use against the loved ones. My day never starts without you. Okay, or they will say like a day without you is nothing for me. Okay, but this is not only applicable for your loved ones, but also for the medical devices. Maybe this considering this previous slide, everyone will be having a perception like medical devices all about only that is being used in hospitals, clinics, or in the laboratories, but not exactly. So this particular slide will decode you how the medical devices has integrated into our routine life. So my day never starts without you. Maybe XYZ you can add it, but generally we cannot start our day without brushing our tooth. So the first medical devices come into your contact is your toothbrush. Okay, and secondly, this is a very important device. Without this, no one cannot survive. It is like in 80s, 90s, there is a director called Vitlacharya movie where all the devil's life will be in the parrot, and the parrot will be in a closed cave, and the cave will be always surrounded by so much of warriors. Similarly, all our life is within this. Okay, your day will become nothing without this. Okay, fortunately or unfortunately, both of this will be, and likely your first device, your toothbrushes, straight away devices. And secondly, using of a phone, either Android or Apple or even any other OS programmed phone, if this particular phone is getting integrated with your smart watch, monitoring health, like your blood level, blood glucose level, or blood pressure level. So maybe the immediate thing comes to your mind is googling out. I just make your life easier. If you type it as toothbrush a medical device, the immediate answer, not only from me, even from your Gemini, will be yes. Okay, toothbrush is considered as a medical devices, and they give a very clear definition for this. So as per US FDA and other regulatory body, which includes Indian also, it is an instrument used to clean the teeth to prevent disease and maintain the health. So, toothbrush will not make a change, but it help you to prevent the disease and maintain the health. The very fortunate thing to understand is only toothbrush is a medical device. The moment when you start using close-up, it's not a drug. If you use same brush using Sensodyne, and your toothbrush is a medical device and your paste is a drug. In case if you use MO form, your device became even more complex because it is doing an additional job. It has a fluoride. And similarly, if you are start using an active toothbrush, by default it comes under the higher category of risk, where the toothbrush has to come across a sequence of regulatory approval before it's entering your tooth or your toiletry. So additionally, not only in USFDA, Indian drug regulation also consider this as a toothbrush. It claims like this: Indian Central Drug Standard Controlling Organization, it's a CDSO, listed basic manual toothbrush as a medical device, indicating the broad regulatory view. So basic manual. So here, since decades we were using only manual, and most of things were handly manual. That's how our toothbrushing technique were started with your pointing fingers. Okay, maybe after a while your pointing fingers will also be comes under medical devices if you are brushing with the bare hands. Okay, we should be very prepared for upcoming regulations. So if you want to go in little detail about the toothbrush, the based upon the intended purpose, any medical devices will be categorized based upon the intended purpose, regulation and classification. So okay, because always we buy brush based upon price or based upon the advertisement we like, but make sure that whenever you buy a brush next time from any of the stores, you should understand like you are buying a medical devices. So please be have little awareness on it. And secondly, the next question comes is like since we are our blood is made up of a native Ayurvedic touch. Preparing the slide, I come across the Amazon pop-up. It was defining like this: Ayurvedic, natural, organic neem, that to manual toothbrush. Because this manual toothbrush was something which was interested. Then I just go back to this classification. It was saying a manual. Even India, it is called as manual toothbrush. So when I did a deep search, it is nothing more than a bark of your neem plant, which is sold for 19 pounds. So roughly about 2000 rupees, Indian rupees for 10 sticks, which is exactly of 5-inch length and 7.2 centimeter millimeter in diameter. So, and I come across this guy also. He is very familiar. He is from Sweden, if I'm not wrong. This guy comes to India and he was using a manual toothbrush without medical devices. We people are using a medical device, but this guy is like overruling all the regulations of US FDA, Indian CDSCO, as well as European. He is using the manual toothbrush, which does not require any type of a regulation. And this guy also hold another medical device, which is Mehendi. As of now, it is not categorized until unless they started claiming like Mehendi cone, which is also make someone feels happy during the time of wedding. It will also categorize, because when someone is happy, they will be reducing the stress of their routine. So de-stressing category, when it comes, the Mehendi will also become a medical device. So this guy is utilizing our old country, coming all the way from Sweden. So this is the time we should get ourselves worked up. So the purpose of this particular slide is, though the regulation says it as a manual toothbrush, the neem stick is not categorized as a medical device because it comes under the Ayush category. Okay. So until unless it is manufactured, it comes across the process, it will not be considered as a medical device. So moving forward, so since we have come across a very important thing, I just want to conduct a pop quiz here. Okay. So before I get into the quiz, I just want all the participants to read this particular statement or a definition, because without having an understanding on this, you may not be able to answer the another three exercise, because that is one of the continuous assessment process of this FDP program. So I'll just repeat once again: the medical devices is any instrument, software, material itself for manufacturing for the purpose of diagnosing, preventing, monitoring, treating, and curing your disease. Okay, not curing, alleviating means reducing the disease conditions without achieving its primary purpose through pharmacological, metabolical, and immunological. Meaning, it cannot be reacting, like when you get a drug allergy, or when you take a medicine, your fever will be reduced. When you take a medicine, your headache will be reduced. These are called as pharmacological, metabolic, and immunological action. Such action a medical device should not do. Okay. Hope everyone is ready. Maybe organizers, you can have a count on the people response in the chat box. So based on this, we'll also give an assessment mark towards the end. So the first exercise is, I just want all the participants to identify what are the medical devices. Maybe if someone is like interested to outspoke, you can unmute it yourself. You can point me what are the medical devices you see in this particular frame. Participants? Excuse me. Hope I'm audible. So I just want you people just to number it, maybe, or you can point it out. What are you see in the frame? It's just like a Sherlock Holmes detective assessment. So by keeping this statement in your mind, what all things you see here as medical devices, you can just give a try on it.
Patient monitoring.
Patient monitoring. So it was a nice answer, but I couldn't see any patient monitor here.
Hospital bed,
Hospital bed, fantastic.
IV stand,
Eye scan?
hello,
Yes, sir.
IV stand, drip stand.
Yeah,
stand,
fantastic. Super, sir. Very good observation. Great.
walker,
Walker, awesome.
medical chart on the clipboard,
Yeah. Awesome, sir. I think
Spectacles.
spectacles, fantastic. Who was that?
Yeah,
Please.
this is Subhashini.
Subhashini from?
PSG Arts and Science College, sir.
Great, ma'am. Absolute observation.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else? Maybe I can give a clue. There are 6. I have already pointed here. Six numbers of medical device. You can see it here. I think people have covered almost, but still we have. That's very, very. What to say? We don't think it as a medical device, but it is a medical device.
Case sheet.
Case sheet. It's a kind of, yes, sir. Good.
Sir, I hope it's a recliner chair.
Recliner chair. It's not exactly a medical device, but still, yes, it's a good try.
So is it an mobile app which the
Mobile
patient
app.
is
Yes,
observing
yes. Fantastic. Yes, it's a very good try. But still, one more is there.
Glucose stand, sir.
Ma'am, come again.
Glucose stand, sir.
Yeah, sir. It has been hit already. Only one thing is restored.
overhead bed riser,
Oh, bed. Yes. Or bed. Right. Still, one more is there.
Sir, actually one
Apron.
that will help patients to raise
Apron
some,
Oro.
Yes. Very good observation. Great. Still, one more is there.
So the dress what the patient
Fantastic.
was.
Awesome. Ma'am, who's that? Sorry, I could not see you. I'm just.
Is Dr. Lata from Ratnam College, sir.
Ma'am, fantastic, ma'am. It's a very good hit. Yes, I'll just open up the puzzle. The number 1 is like the strainer that helps. That's basically used for physiotherapy. Okay, and number 2 is yes, IV set stand, the whole thing, excluding the fluid. Number 3 is specs. Number 4 is like the walker. Number 5 is a dress. What he has used, it's a non-oven. Maybe we might be very familiar during the COVID time. And finally, the bed. Okay. So very good try. I'm very happy that you people are with me. And we'll go for exercise 2 now. Now identify what are medical devices you could see.
One is the IV stand.
Again, great, super.
Second is the ECG monitoring ECG monitor.
Yes, yes, good. Ma'am, someone was trying, please. Ma'am, fantastic, ma'am. Yes.
So Venflon,
Okay, great. Yes.
Sir, the patient identification strip which is there.
Fantastic. Great. Yes.
Rest is common. Uniform we call it as.
Yes, yes, yes. Drapes. Yes.
Incliner bed.
Yes.
Oxygen
yes.
flow meter.
BP monitoring machine, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Oxygen
Fantastic,
flow
sir.
meter.
Correct. Yes, I'm decoding again. Yes, it is.
Patient
So,
wristband.
yeah. So, I just want you people to rule out the non-medical devices from here.
Sir, some small paper.
Okay. Yes.
Spoon, sir, spoon.
Spoon. Spoon is a medical devices. Yes. You cannot deny it. It's a medical device.
Medicine.
Yes. Great. So
Scissors.
who was it?
Syringe, sir.
Syringe is a medical device.
Something medicine, right? Who was-
All the tablets.
Yeah,
Sir,
Dr.
paper.
Rakesh Kumar.
Okay, Dr. Rakesh Kumar. Nice observation, Rakesh Kumar. Thank you. Ma'am,
All
please
the
proceed, ma'am.
tablets.
Thank you.
Tablets.
So the
Only
LED
tablet
display.
is
LED display will be the medical device, ma'am.
only
Okay.
tablet is a
Sir,
non-medical
paper.
device
Paper.
here.
Paper, yes.
Sir, can
Sir,
we
only
tell that
paper.
only tablet or capsule are the non-medical
Sugar.
devices here?
Sugar tester is a medical device. But good try. I appreciate.
Only tablet or capsule sheets which are there were the non-medical
inhaler.
device. Remaining everything is
Inhaler,
medical
yes.
device.
Inhaler
Sir,
is a medical
The
device.
out part is a device, sir, but the inner medicine is used to treat.
Correct, correct. It's a drug.
Poster?
You're right, ma'am. Inhaler mold is a medical device. Yes, sir, please.
Scissor,
Poster.
scissor.
Which one, ma'am?
Sir, scissor. Scissor, sir.
Scissor comes under medical device, ma'am. It comes under medical device.
Okay,
Because
okay.
of surgery, they will cut it.
Okay, okay, sir.
Fine, great. I'm really happy. This is what, to be frank, syringe is the medical device. If the syringe will contain a fluid, then it became a drug. Similarly, as ma'am rightly pointed, inhaler is a medical device. That the canister which is having a drug will become a drug actually. It will be ruled out of a medical device. So it was a very good response. I would like to appreciate all the participants and team. It gives me more what to say. I'm feeling good to continue. So thank you all for your active participation. So with this, I'll just go ahead with the actual the part of the medical device, because without the understanding on what medical devices actually, the process will be complicated. So considering the medical device business, it is just like any of the business where your RM will be converted into a finished product, and this is all absolutely based on your customer requirements. So with this, what makes the medical device business and little stand out with the rest of the businesses like these three: quality, safety, and efficacy. Okay, obviously it matters for any of the business, either it is a service based business or product based business. But when it comes to medical devices, the safety efficacy stands very tall when compared with the quality. So it doesn't mean that quality can be compromised, because these three are just like this Venn diagram. None of the circle fades away to keep it intact. So that's the outcome of it. So for any business, it comes with a quality. As Aristotle says, quality is not an act; it's an habit. Along with the habit, we just want to practice something called culture, which is nothing more than a safety. So the term MD, this is how the medical device will be represented. So to your right, this is then a symbol stating this, your product is a MD or medical devices. Maybe next time when you go for purchasing a toothbrush in your shopping mall, you must see such logo on your back of your label of your toothbrush. If you find it is missing, then still you have an consumer rights to claim it as a medical devices as per the Indian medical device regulations. Okay, so since now the topic is getting into the core mud, I take an privilege of using this golden example, because one thing which keep all of us hitting is gold, because it surges the price, never ending story, from 8,000 K in 2 months ago to 11,750 per gram of 22 carat. So one thing we always quite easy for us to understand is like when we talk about the gold, two things comes to your mind: 22 carat and 24 carat, and the other things comes to is 916 and 916 and hallmark, or BAS hallmark and 916. Okay, if someone is very clear about it, can someone say what is this 916 and what does this hallmark representation is all about?
91.6% purity.
Okay.
And BAS is the logo where the purity will be checked.
Trademark.
Trademark. Yes, ma'am. Kind of. Thank you.
Trade.
I just want someone to discuss on this particular picture. It has an assay center, jewelry identification mark, year of hallmark. So it will be highly appreciated if someone could throw a spotlight on all those things.
Sir, actually, this is the Bureau of the Indian Standards logo. This gives an identification mark for that particular, we call it a particular jeweler as such. Yeah, Indian standards.
Yes, sir.
And 916 is the purity of the gold, which gives an identification whether that the content which or the material which has been used in that particular processing, how much purity of the gold is within that particular ornament. Assess center jewelry's identification mark is the logo of that particular jeweler, which is there. Say, for example, if you have Kalyan Jewelers and all those, so that identification mark is there. And year of hallmarking, yes, when the what was the year of they got that particularly hallmark as such. So that stands for. So any of the ornament, if we take, all these particular things are more important, and they give a card of that.
Quality standards, sir.
Quality
Perfect.
standard specification has been maintained in this particular.
Great. I highly appreciate all of the input, sir. Maybe I just want to take you one more thing. I have given a title of Origin Never Matters. Okay. I just want to point here, because all this thing is possible even if you get this any type of a jewelry from any shops, irrespective of the size. Either the shop have an air conditioning system, they have a multi-level marketing, or maybe whomsoever, either maybe Kalyan Jewelers or Joy Alucas or whatever the gold centers or jewelries, you can see 916 commonly, right? Similarly, you can identify the rate will be similar. Maybe there may be little of the reduction where the impurities or dust will go. However, when you have a jewelry which is 916, you can sell the gold on the same rate irrespective of where you bought it from. Either you bought it from Jammu and Kashmir or from Pakistan or from England. It never matters. It is going to be the same. So origin never matters. Okay, for the product. But in the case of medical devices, origin matters. Okay, it's not that the value of the product; it is also matters where it is coming from. So this is what then takeaway message I just want to convey for all the participants. Maybe origin never matters for your gold ornaments, but it always matters for a medical device. Where it comes from, who prepared it, okay, how it was made. until unless it is not being confirmed, you cannot assure a medical device as a safe. So that makes this medical device industry and business a very unique. So here comes then another statement I just want to make. So what you're seeing is like how we have seen BAS 916, which is the representation of 91.6% of purity, which represent the gold with other alloy that has been used for jewel making. Similarly, any medical devices, either it's a toothbrush or your ECG machine or a bed, cloth, whatever you people identified in the previous discussion, any medical device should come from an industry that should have a ISO 13485 certification. So if you see the top 10 medical devices in the globe, it starts from Medtronic till GE Healthcare and maybe Abato, Johnson, and now there are a lot. All the pharma has now a division with medical devices. This is common. Either your medical device is coming from Coimbatore or Pyramid or even from PhD Arts and Science or PhD institution or any institution where you are working, all the participants, even you have an liberty to develop a medical devices. The basic requirement is your medical device manufacturing facility should comply with ISO 13485. So that is the takeaway message here. So 1 man or 1 million company, any medical device manufacturer should come. System for medical devices is ISO 13485. Don't forget, not for FDP. Also, this may be a cheat code for your getting your certificates also. So don't forget the number 13485. So, like how the gold as 916 just absolutely says the product is good to go. This ISO standard has a 5 basic rule or 5 policies that makes any medical device manufacturer a good product or safety and quality rich product. Number one, the quality management system. It has not much to discuss. Just like any 9001 or your BAS or any steel will have a TMT. So quality management system is just similar to. Excuse me, am I audible? Organizer, can you please confirm? Am I audible? It's good to go.
Yes, yes, sir. Participant Dr. Ram K, can you please mute your mic? Ram K, Dr. Ram K, please mute your mic. Sir?
Yeah. Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Ma'am, someone is asking for doubt.
No, sir. Actually, their mic is on, so I think they are speaking something.
Fine, ma'am. I just want to convey a brief message to both organizer and participant. Actually, I'm more like a blindfold. I could see nothing. So if you want to talk with me, please unmute yourself and let me know. Or else, like I'm just talking to the screen only. I couldn't see on none on other end. So thank you anyway. I'm just going ahead. The quality management system is just like any of the system policies that has been implemented right from the attendant register, internal marks, external mark, IV trips. So it has been systemized to make sure that something is getting delivered good. And here the first two part is quite common with ISO 9001. There is not much to discuss or work on it. But where comes the 3, 4, and 5? It has a lot. It is very specific and primitive for any ISO 13485 medical device manufacturer to stick onto it. It's not like ISO 9001 where there is a laboratory where you can just maintain a document to sign yourself that good to go, which is not at all possible with the medical devices, where it is all evidence-based audit. You have to demonstrate that how you are doing your resource management by complying with the safety and how your product realization is complying with your safety, and similarly how your quality checks and post-production activities are complying with your safety. So it's just a brief briefing before we get into the regulatory part. So we have seen a lot of diversified medical devices, right from the toothbrush, IUDs, or catheters, ECG machines, monitors, IV sets, So all these medical devices comes under a single roof of ISO 13485. This is going to be a common for if you are into any type of a medical manufacturing, irrespective of the category or the risk, you should comply the basic requirement of medical device. Cook with command.
38 37 என்ன நம்பர்னே தெரியல எனக்கு. போய் அந்த
Dr.
சின்ன பென்
Ram K.
தூக்கிட்டு
Sir. Dr. Ram.
Ram is busy with the protocol of Komari. Still, we can continue the medical devices. Thanks all the participants for your cooperation, except Ram. So let's go ahead. So medical devices, it's need a basic baseline, which is ISO 13485. So because like in the whole discussion, we'll be discussing about three major countries. One is India, Europe, and US. So when you talk about the Indian regulations, it irrespective whether it is a Class A, Class B, or Class C devices, ISO 13485 is mandatory. And we'll be discussing about these classifications in coming quarters. But just for an initial briefing, I have made this slide. The same applies when you are going for an European regulations. So ISO 13485 is going to be a mandatory, irrespective of classification, and this also applies for your USA. Okay, either of your device, either you are manufacturing a Class 1 or Class 2 or Class 3. ISO 13485 is going to be a baseline. Without this, you cannot be entering into the market, or you can't even entering into a manufacturing facility. So I was telling about the elements, the 5 elements. So I was very particular about the stand 3, 4, and 5 because these 3, 4, and 5 can be decoded as 4M1E. Basically, man, material, methods, machines, and environment. Where in the case of a 9000 or any other quality management system, it is not well described how your man should be. It doesn't mean that the manliness or all the racism here. The man defines the compliance qualifications. So none of the standard will tell you what will be the basic qualification required. But in the case of 13485, it is necessary all your people who are working in a medical device organization, right from the base level as a worker till your organization head, is defined how they should be, what are the education qualification that is being required. Secondly, the method what you are adapting for manufacturing of your medical devices need to be standardized, optimized, and validated. Until unless it is not being done, you may not be provided with the 13485 certification. Similarly, whatever the material that is being used for manufacturing of your medical devices need to be evaluated, assessed. Only the qualified material need to be placed for your manufacturing process. Same applicable for a machine. Until unless your machine is not getting qualified, this may not be possible for any medical device manufacturer to start their production process. And finally, the environment, because you cannot see a medical device manufacturing started without complying their environmental requirements, which includes temperature, regional requirements, as well as the environmental conditioning, which includes the monitoring of the environment and whatever the area it's supposed to be placed. You cannot start your medical device manufacturing facility yet like any other manufacturing unit because it needs lot
Hello.
of regulatory approval. Yes, sir.
Sir, one question. When we are preparing any type of prototype, just a particularly model of that. At that time also the whatever the material is going to be used, it has to be get sanction from some of the authorities.
Sir, not necessarily, sir. If you are a startup, if you are preparing a prototype, your prototype may not require. Once you freeze your final prototype design, when you go for a commercialization process, then you need. So maybe
so at the initial stage. At the initial stage, when I want to get for the patent, at that time you don't have to have that material to get sanctioned as such.
No. Patent does not require anything on this, sir. Patent has a total different. Only when you want to put.
So is it that in the description, in the specification, we have to mention all the type of materials which we are going to use?
It is necessary, sir. So if you are about patenting, that is totally different. Maybe I may not be the right person. We have Dr. K.M. Shaktivel here.
Okay.
Yeah. Patent. But however, with respect to medical devices, yes, which may not be required at the initial stage. The moment when you feel like putting your product into the market, yes, it is required.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So with this, we are getting into the second part of our particular discussion, which is regulatory requirements. So with a basic understanding, 13485 is going to be common. So let's see what are the regulatory requirements for any medical device manufacturers, either in India or when you are planning to go for an export. Number one, so this is what all about the global market. There is no big players or there is no big importers or exporters beyond this global map, where India stands a very tall place next to US. And yes, the question may be coming across like all recession, GST imposition, tax imposition. Maybe it should be or it could be self-regulated in no time, because considering the importance of medical device export from our country, India really stands very tall, and the opportunity what we are getting is very huge. Maybe you can't even compare your ability to any of the bigger market like Canada or US market. So maybe with particular global scenario, okay. So even if you want to start a medical devices or any medical device coming from China, Australia, Brazil, or from US or Canada, the regulation is going to be common. Any medical devices need to come applies with the ISO 13485. And when you talk about the classification, this what the anything will be graded. For example, fruits will be graded based upon the quality. Again, any business will be of export quality. They'll be using a terminology of export quality. Similarly, the medical device also have an categorization. So this categorization nomenclature is pretty different between US market, Indian market, and European market. As per Indian market, we denotes medical devices in the category of A, B, C, and D, where this particular arrow marks represent the risk based. For example, class A will be, maybe you can recall the a blue color dress that comes under the class 1 and class 2A, because it is less risk. It does not get into the body. It will be just acting only on the surface skin. Since it is sterile, it comes under the class A category. And if you talk about a monitor, which is either a glucose monitor or oxygen monitor, it is a high critical. It is a class 3 device, because if the monitor is malfunctioning, there is a chance that the patient may be end with the morbidity or mortality. Either they can have a serious organal failure, or it may even end up with a death or claiming of a life of an individual. So higher the risk, meaning the risk of either morbidity, losing an organal, or dysfunction of lower the risk, even the device fails, there is the less likely that death may immediately occur. That is what the risk category is all about. So if you talk about the Canadian market categorized as class 4, class 3, class 2, and class 1. US market categorized as class 3, class 2, and class 1. Class 3 is the highest. European market has an additional subcategory of class A and class B. So between because they have some more extra categories, because European market is much more friendly for an Indian exporters, because you could see the alignment is exactly matching with Europe. Class 3 will be represented as D in India. Class B will be represented as C, and class 2 as B, and class 1 as A. However, the basic hierarchies remain same. So higher the risk, higher the data is required, higher the stringency is required. Lower the risk, the requirement will be little lesser. So in continuation to the previous slide, let's start our discussion with the Indian medical device regulations. As per Indian medical device regulations, we have a class A, class B, class C, and class D. If you start with the class, it is pretty easier. All you have to do is first get an 13485 facility. You can register your devices in a Sugam portal, so your life is much more easier. So it hardly takes 30 days of time once your device is ready, complying with all the regulatory requirements. So it does not. I'm not talking anything about the factory setup. Assuming the factory manufactured product ready, you can make your way into the market within factory. B need even more litter stringency, where you need additional testing need to be performed, where your facility will be audited by the CDSU representative. They'll be doing an examination. If necessary, they'll do an sampling. Your sample will be tested in a third-party laboratory, which is approved by CDSU or NABL. So based on this, they'll provide you a licensing. In case of Class C, it is even more stringent than Class B, where your device need to perform a clinical trial. Unless for Class A, Class B, it does not need any human trial. You can test your product on animal, and if it does not provide any adverse reaction or does not provide any morbidity or mortality, your product is good to go to the market. However, in the case of Class C and Class D product, it need a very stringent process where your device will undergo a sequence of analysis, which include an hospital-based analysis on human individuals, where you need to have an ethical clearance from hospitals to conduct the study, and your whole study will be monitored by an autonomous body before your device being grant a permission to sell to the market. So unless you don't get a manufacturing license in India, none of the medical device manufacturer cannot go for an exporting. So this is a basic rule. And I have given this PPT, maybe considering the time constraint, I'm just making a quick move. So the PPT will be shared, you can have a look on it. So this will give you a brief how the device is being categorized. Okay, and same there is an policy process being developed by CDSU agency for getting an import license also in India. Without a license, you cannot import any product. And considering the import of refurbished machine has been banned in our country since January 2025 due to a lot of mishandling of the import. Now it is being any device, either you are getting it as in courier or even for a personal parcel, your device will undergo a sequential scanning. So importing of any device without a regulatory approval will immediately ends in an removal of your licensing, and it also takes a huge fine amount which lost you monetarily, and definite severe imprisonment also imposed, because now the regulation is very stringent. We have a very defined regulation body that's really working with all the import export agency and Minister of Finance directly. So it is a very stringent process. Yeah, please. Someone has a question? Fine. So the same, if we talk about an European market also same. However, European market comes with an additional thing. You can see like MD. This is a representation of medical device. If you are getting a product from Europe or you are sending a product to Europe, this is the conformity, which is a confirmation of European standards. Without this, you cannot send a product. Though medical devices tendency of India is growing better, but 90% of medical devices in India are working for other countries like US and European market, where CE became a very mandation. Okay. In addition, their tendency are even more. You can see a thing called UDI, which is called as unique device ID. I repeat, UDI is a unique device ID. How each and every device is traceable. So the European policy is so stringent. Even after, imagine a pacemaker is placed on the patient, the pacemaker will be monitored till either the expiry of the device or the patient is died. The device will be monitored. For example, if the pacemaker is claimed to be 15 years of working, and the medical devices stop working on 14th year and 364th day, still the medical devices will be considered as a non-conformity. The manufacturer of the medical devices, which is not performing on 24 hours, is liable to pay a huge amount as a penalty, and their device will be permanently restricted for export. So this is the stringency and the control of medical devices market in Europe. Same applies for your. This is the overall strategy. Maybe I just don't get into it, considering the time and the complexity. I'll just get into the US market. Even US market at the same. You could see here also. You can see a UDI. Okay, wherein the Indian device will not have a UDI, where it will have only the information of the medical devices manufacturer. So the policy rating US will be even more stringent, because between January 2025 and say on date today September, there are 450 companies that has been blacklisted from our country because of little malfunctioning, and most of the companies were blacklisted because they import the raw material from China, and those were not qualifying the competency requirements of US. So the policy is very stringent. So in first few slides we were talking about the opportunities. Yes, there is a huge opportunity of a business and development. However, the policies and the regulations is very stringent. Like where a minor error will also make you to lose your whole business which you built for a territory. Okay. So this particular slide, it has a very important tabular column. So this is all about the summary. Considering India, the authorities CDSEO. Anyway, it will be summarized towards the end. But I want to tell you something. The regulation requirement of Europeans is now upgraded only in 2017, but the very stringent regulations of US FDA was since 1938, where they care more for the individuals, not for the organization. The same policy now it has been regulated for European as well as for an Indian market. So that makes the more effective medical devices that being developed in our country. That also gives a very good opportunity for domestic market to have a better device instead of going for imports. So when you talk about the medical device manufacturing opportunities, we have a very good figures. So the comparative growth was very peak. It is similar or far better than gold. You could see like 20 years on rough estimation, because like every year at least 100 new medical devices being developed. To be frank, around there are 20 million different type of medical devices throughout the globe, and again India has a very good position of fourth throughout the global medical device market. It has a little back uh, mm, awareness. However, the commercial aspect of medical devices always growth. Medical device occupied a major share in the part of health and improvement. So considering the market size in USD billion, yes, it has a very good. So medical devices not only for hospital, it also includes the clinicals and also others. As we see example of tooth braces, even certain lipsticks or lip balms which claim to have an control of mood swings has been categorized as medical devices. Few watches which has a control on your body monitoring of vitals or categorized as the medical devices. To give even more on pitch, in around Coimbatore, which comes under the pin code of Coimbatore itself has 800 medical devices. Maybe if you have a drive between Kodisha, Ground and Pilamedu, if you do a vertical search, we have 25 medical device manufacturing industries. Out among 10 industries from Montipudur alone, they do a massive export throughout the globe, including Japan. So maybe people who think like Coimbatore is only an education lab, it has been relabeled. Maybe in short time it will also be an center for medical device cornering, because the best laboratory also here for medical device. CDSU has proposed a medical device testing lab in Coimbatore, which is for 550 crores. This is going to be a biggest laboratory for whole country. The first integrated laboratory for medical devices is going to be established in 2029. So that is what the proposal bill has been already passed. So just for unkind information to the participants. So when you talk about the export options, is again we have a very good opportunity. So towards your east coastal line and part of your Himachal has a very good export. And to be precise, Badi of Himachal has around 250 medical devices. They do exclusive exports, and most of the US exports happens from Badi. For two reasons. One is of the commercial eco-commercial benefits that Himachal is doing with the zero power cut and other logistics supports, where government takes in a lot of initiative. Beyond it, manpower and raw material supply was very feasible. The rate cuts also one of the reason. And the top destination always US stands tall, and followed by German, China, and Netherlands. Brazil is one important country to be noted, because Brazil is the hub for all the African countries, because none of the African countries have their own regulations. It's all gets complies with Brazil. So this is how the projection market is all about. Medical devices have a very good thing. Even if you are looking for a stock marketing, I think medical device will be the right next to pharma and hospital industry for coming days. So in addition to the other regulation, I just want to give an introduction on the MD SAP. So we were discussing about 5 major countries who's playing a role. There is one particular regulation that help medical device manufacturers to, with a single application, you can export to 5 different countries called MD SAP, which is called as multi-device single approval program, where once you get this particular approval, you can sell your product in US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and Brazil, which is comprised of all your Middle East market. So again, even for going for a MD SAP, ISO 13485 is going to be a basic benchmark. So we are almost towards the end of the session. So I just want to give a summary on what we were discussing. Maybe this will help you people to crack your examination that will be conducted towards the end of this FDP program. So the one thing to understand is like the medical devices is categorized as class 1 to class 4 in Canada, class 1 to class 3 in USA, and class 1 to class 3 with class A, B in Europe. In India, medical devices categorized as class A, class B, class C, and class D device. All this categorization is based on the risk and what is the intended purpose it is being used for the needs. So I cannot use the word treatment because the definition itself says it is not for cure, it is always for the support. And secondly, ISO process, it is mainly for the requirement to meet all the medical device that is being manufactured is for safe for a human use. And once any medical device manufacturers get a licensing, so this is a very important thing to understand. It is every 3 years once a manufacturer should get a license again. It's called as recertification. So every year there will be a surveillance to check whether the medical devices is manufactured in a meritorious way. At the end of 3rd year, you'll do a thorough verification. We call it as a recertification. So this is the process. They do it to make sure that all the medical device manufactured is in a controlled and good manner. And when you talk about the regulations for export and manufacturing, India, we call it as IMDR regulations, Indian Medical Device Rules. IMDR stands for Indian Medical Device Rule. I just want all the participants to take a note on it because maybe this will be important for you to crack your exams to get your certification on your name. So IMDR is a representation of Indian Medical Device Rules, which was implemented in 2017. And this is being monitored by a Central Drug Standard Control Organization, which we briefly called as CDSCO. It is the authoritative agency which work for all the medical device approval. And since we are the close relative of Europe, European MDR also proposed in 2017. Based on this only IMDR was developed. So EU MDR, it is called as European Medical Device Regulation. EU represents European Union. And this is not applicable for UK since UK has come out of the European Union. They have their separate regulation. Since that is not high market, I didn't discuss about here. So once an organization in India got an IMDR approval, it is valid for 5 years. And CE approval from European market is valid for 3 years of duration. And once any medical device manufacturer get an US FDA approval, it is valid for lifetime unless they get caught. For example, if the medical devices is proposed to be defined in a particular way and there is some changes which is not intimated, your device will be blocked. So not only the device, the company will not be allowed to enter the US market. Okay, once it is being denied in US market, by default it will be denied in European and other MDCEP countries also. So this is very important to know. So IMDR stands for validity, EU MDR for 3 years, and US FDA for a lifetime until it is being cancelled. And MDSAP is again for 5 years program. So MDSAP is a medical device single audit program. MDSAP represents medical device single audit program. So these are the 5 countries. I repeat, it starts with US, Japan, Canada, Brazil, and Australia. So once you get an MDSAP, you will be entitled So with this, we are moving towards the end of the today's session. If you have any questions, Q&A, I have a couple of slides to show, but still, if you have any Q&A, we can open for a discussion.
Participants, if you have any queries, you can discuss with Dr. Padmanabhan sir. Okay, we can move on to the next slide, sir, if you have.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, like maybe a briefing about our laboratory. Ours is only the exclusive medical device testing lab in India. So, we support customers throughout the country, and we also cater our facilities to Italy, Germany, Sweden, UK, and US, Ireland. So, we are NABL approved with the ILAC mark. So, our report is globally accepted. And we also provide consultancy for all type of medical device manufacturer, being a startup. So far we have completed more than 15 successful projects on manufacturing license, test license, and import license as well. So I just want to quickly show you a few videos how the medical device laboratory will be. It will give you some insight on because it's all rough. Thing. I just want to. We have an facility of 1,500 feet. So this is our basic facility where we perform and we do one testing for pre-market approval. All the medical devices will be registered for quality to be safe for human before it is being placed into the market. So we have a very requirements which as per US FDA and EU norms. This is our additional facility. So we have things and the aging study for provide so these are our facilities which will help you. And we are the one in India to perform an ASTM testing for US FDA. We have been early applied for quite number of packaging and product performance. And this is one of our benchmarking. We are the one among the facility in India to have a clean room, and we are approved for bacterial endotoxin sterility and bioburden for all the implantable medical devices of high risk, which is class 4 and class 3, even for class D. And our lab is also being assessed by CDSCO and government agencies. It has been approved. Clean room, which will be equal to an operation theater facility, where without going you will not be allowed to enter inside the facility. And this whole area will be operated under control condition. It will be monitored 24/7. So it has a designated chambers, flooring and all, where the particle counts will be zero. It has a stringent protocol how the product has to be tested, mobilized. Even for each stage, we need to change your dressings, and that's how the clean room will be. So just for how the device will be manufactured. You can see the even person who is taking a video is been fully gowned, where they are not allowed to enter into the facility without proper dress codes. So with this, I just thank the organizing committee and all the participants for your interactive participation, and I thank you all for your patient listening. So I really appreciate all the participants and organizing team. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Padmanabhan sir, for your excellent and fantastic presentation with all real-time examples. I hope all the participants and had a gained knowledge about all the basics of how a medical device are manufactured and what are the regulations are required for testing with medical devices. So we will move on to the next session. Today, the second session. Now I invite Dr. Rashmi for guest introduction for the second session.
Thank you so much,
It
sir.
is
I just sign off on the session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It is my privilege to introduce Dr. M. Priyadarshini, a distinguished academician, researcher, and innovator with over 24 years of experience across academia and industry. She holds a PhD in availability in service computing from Anna University and has served in reputed institutions including Anna University, Sri Krishna College of Engineering, KPR Institute of Technology, and VIT AP University. She is currently serving as Senior Manager at HCL Tech, Chennai. Dr. Priyadarshini has made significant contributions in areas such as data analytics, artificial intelligence, deep learning, service-oriented architecture, and automation systems. She has published widely authored book chapters and actively contributes to platforms like Google Scholar, ResearchGate, and Publons. Importantly, she is a prolific innovator with several patents granted in India and Australia, covering areas such as drone-assisted additive manufacturing, hybrid composite materials, computer systems with phase change materials, and sustainable 3D printing technologies. Her work has earned her multiple recognitions, including the Best Research with Patent Award, the Dr. Radhakrishnan Award, and Innovative Technological Research Award. With her expertise in innovation, intellectual property, and advanced technologies, Dr. Priyadarshini is an inspiring speaker and guide for researchers, professionals, and entrepreneurs alike. I once again warmly welcome Dr. M. Priyadarshini. The session is yours, ma'am. Ma'am, your mic is on mute, I think.
It is now on.
Yeah, now it's audible.
I was just walking through what all the sessions you already had. I think you had a lot of information regarding your patent law. And also, I think you had a previous session related to labs and all the standards, what they follow and how they direct the medical equipments, manufacturing, testing and all, right? I think you had some brief idea on that. So as Dr. Shaktivel was giving an introduction about the participants, so he told that you are from different domains, and so I'll try to justify everyone. Okay, so that is what I'll tell you. With respect to the topic, wait, I'll share the slides and then start. You are able to see my screen, I hope. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So as she told, right, currently I am as a senior manager, but also as she told, I have a very strong academic background, and then I am into industry as of now. So I have a mix-up experience of industry as well as academia. So the reason for being like this is like whenever I feel that whatever the learnings that I had, okay, is not so much intuitive, and if I am not able to implement it or see the output of it, obviously I'll take a chance, no, to shift to industry or to work upon it. So after my ME, I shifted to industry, and then after my PhD also I shifted to industry. So that is the reason. No, whenever I feel that I should see what I have learned, so I move on to industry. So with respect to the topic that is given to me, right, innovation in healthcare. So how I have planned for this session is initially I'll give you a few innovations that is currently happening in healthcare. These innovation you may know or it may be new for you. Okay, so I'll not go in depth into this, because like those who already are into biomedical terms, they may know this better. The other persons may not know much once I enter into a level of depth. Okay, so what I will do is like I'll try to relate how we can think the areas in which we can have some new innovations, or we can think about having some intellectual properties that you can generate, and you can get something out of the learning what you have it today. Okay, so that is what I have planned for. So I'll directly go into what are all the innovations that we have currently. So I have not taken all the innovations. There are n number of innovations, whereas I have taken only few which could be easy for the understanding of you. Okay, so number one. So one is like eye gaze tracking system. So this is one of the what is a major it is one of the major area in which we have lot of things to explore. Okay, so everybody know what is gazing, right? So nowadays, no, whenever we go to doctor with your problem with the eye, or else if you have diabetes, no, normally what they do is like they ask us to do eye gazing, right? So they ask us to gaze the sun through your eyes. So how is it related to our technology, right? So how our eyes are related to the data, and then how this particular data what you have is useful, and for what all the applications that we can use. Okay, so then by understanding this, you will be able to find out whether we could do something in this particular area. We can take up some problem statement in this area and you can work upon it. Okay, earlier, no, this gives you the evolution of from where you have reached where. Okay, so initially we have an eye structure, and you know the working of basic eye, right? I need not tell you. So by understanding the way in which your eyes are focusing, right, you can generate lot of information, and from that information you normally can give some inputs to the system, some automated system which could help you out in doing certain things. Okay, so initially what they were doing is like they had some wearable devices. So wearable devices will help you to track the movement of your eye, and then those points on which your movements are tracked, right, are the points which need to be programmed in such a way that your wearable devices could give some useful information. Okay, so you know that, right? Whenever you are given with any image, whenever we take any image, there are certain points of interest which we have to consider to get some useful information from it, right? So similarly, for specifically for this eye, we already had eye oculography and tracking system. Okay, so this oculography does somebody want to tell something? Okay, no. So what happens is like the movements are tracked by the wearable devices. So there should be some physical wearable devices earlier, right, in order to track that. Now what happened is, instead of directly having a wearable device, okay, so there is a lot of overhead involved, and there is a lot of laws involved in the data that is being captured, and the data that is being transferred, and the data that is being processed. Okay, so then nowadays we have all remote systems. Through images we track the movement, and through continuous video movements, right? So we are trying to reduce the overhead which is used in order to process our eye movement. Okay, so this is one of the place where you can think about having something which could have a system, no, which could be put in a place to work upon your data engineering and work upon your artificial intelligence, your machine learning, right? So this is one area in healthcare where you can think about, because this eye movement tracking is not only used for one single app. It is not only for medical alone, right? So it is not only for medical. So it's used in multiple industries. So for example, no, a driver driving a vehicle, right? So his eye movements is used to track his. So in cases, no, if he is very panicked, right, and then based on the tracking, we could prevent certain accidents. So like this, no, not only for this, okay, there are a lot of other applications which uses this eye gaze tracking system. Okay, so this is one of the major area where healthcare industry is looking forward to get the information, process it, and give some useful solutions to the problems. Okay, so this is one of the things. And even no learning analytics. If you being a professor or being a person in learning field, right, you should know there is something called learning analytics. So learning analytics is a field where we try to find out whether our learning system, what we use. So today everything is online, right? So what we do is like we try to identify whether our learning system is useful, and then whether it has instead of getting the feedback from the person, no, you know, the feedback that is given by a person may be biased. But whereas in case we have certain tracking system which could track the movement of the eye, right, that would give us how much retention period, no, we have it looking into the learning materials. So for that even we use this. Okay, so that's what I told. This particular innovation, which is not only used for healthcare industry, it is for entire set of domains wherever we need to track the sentiment of the person, wherever we need to track the retention ratio, how much time that particular person is looking at an object, right? So all this could be tracked using this eye gazing tracking system. So this is one of the innovation which helps healthcare industry more. Okay? So next is seaweed based sensor. So does anybody know about seaweed? Seaweed? Yes.
It's from the marine, ma'am.
Yeah, yes. So what is the seaweed based sensor, right? So what they do is like nowadays, you know that, right? Whenever a sensor is to be implanted into a human, right? So what difficulties we have, we know, right? So seaweed is not only used for creating sensor, it is used for a lot of applications where you can track the movement of certain objects across. Okay, so this is like implanted in the organisms or implanted in the machines, like in order to sense the vibrations, movements and all, right? So the seaweed based sensor is used in health for monitoring. Okay, I'll tell you, what is the prospects of having some research on this. Okay, so the later part I'll tell you how much they are working on it, and how much what is it, like scope you have to work in this. Okay, so this is an organic, right? So it means that without any hazardous to the human, you can have it like a skin. It's like a second skin, so that you can monitor using the seaweed sensor. You can monitor all the vitals of the human, and your healthcare system can use this data and process it. Right. So this is one of the innovation which would help you out. And next is microRNAs, right? So anybody have idea on what is preeclampsia? Okay, so I'll give you some information on this. So after 20th week of pregnancy, normally the fetus will have some movement, some generations of some liquids, and then blood cell movement. All these leads to some critical issues to that person. Okay, So now microRNA is one such option. Okay, one such option. What it does is like it will act as a regulator to regulate this. So for example, if there is more secretion, it will try to regulate that secretion. If it is less, so then it has to increase the secretion. So this analysis, right? So this analysis, which could cause some damage to the fetus as well as to the patient, right? So that could be regulated using this microRNAs. Okay, so this is an acid actually. So you can increase or decrease this, and you can regulate the flow of that, so that you can always control, okay, some abnormalities that happens in that particular. Okay, and then also even in some cases, what you can do is like some drug analysis, diagnosing in which drug is needed for what purpose, right? So everything could be tracked using this particular regulators. So based on this regulators activity, okay, activity, we could even very well prevent a lot of mishaps. Okay, so the level of inflammations, so everything could be tracked. Okay, so this is one of the innovation. So you know that, right? Nowadays, in most of the places we have fertility centers, right? So your normal pregnancy has become difficult, and now what we do is like in that case, no, it is very difficult to hold the entire period of pregnancy, right? So and it becomes very critical to take care of that. So in that case, this innovation will help you. So how could this, with respect to applications, okay, this is with respect to your biotechnological innovation, but whereas when we take it as a data, it could also help us in identifying what may be the reasons, no? So once it is given to the machine learning algorithms, this data could help us to predict, no, what may happen and what may not happen. Okay, so that also will help us. No? It could be used for current regulation, as well as currently it could be used as a regulator, as well as in case of future also you can use this data and you can train the models based on this as well. Okay. So next is fMRI. Okay, so functional MRI. So we know what is MRI, right? So this functional MRI will help to understand the blood flow from your brain. Right, so based on this, lot of information could be inferred. Okay, so this particular data, what they do is like they map this, whatever the data that we get from this fMRI could be mapped with the graphical neural networks. So being, you know, today everybody use neural networks, deep learning in order to predict things, right? So we have a lot of applications for this graphical neural networks. So it is used in order to regulate flow of neurons, and then it could even change the sentiment of a person, right? So it is used in logistics field. Lot of domains it is used, GNNs. Okay. So what we do is like, so with respect to your biotech, I mean biomedical terms, what you can do is like, we can use a particular fMRI report, right, and the data that is generated from this, convert that into a graphical neural network. You could do a lot of analysis, and then you could predict something, prevent something, right? So for example, post-operation, you may have a lot of difficulties, right, which you may tell or you will not be able to express. So in that case, you could use. So think that when a patient is bedridden, he is in ICU, right? So he is in a position to express there is a sense. He is not in a position to express. Obviously, these are all these, I mean, what is it like, identifiers? Yeah, those identifiers we can take it to experiment. Okay, so whether there is an increase in flow of blood, whether it's decrease in flow of some. So and then what neurons are activated, what neurons are not activated, right? So that could be mapped to your DNA. So for example, normally all ad hoc networks, right? So ad hoc network means we will not know the exact positions of the nodes in the network, right? So those networks will be mapped to wrapped in overlay network, and based on that we do some calculation. So similarly, whatever the fMRI data we have, this data will be mapped to this GNL. In GNL, we can do all optimizations, all path flows. You can detect the path from which place to which place. Everything you can simulate, do things as if you do with your normal network. Okay, so how your neurons work and everything, and then from this data, even you can optimize things, and you can what is it? You can diagnose, you can treat the patient. So this is one section. So next is a very what is it? Multi-dimensional factor, and innovation is usually a multi-dimensional. One is this will help you. Right? The persons who are having disease, whenever your RBC, red blood cells, it generates a set of what is it, sac-like structure. Okay? So this helps in regulating glucose intake, right? So even a diabetic person and the person who have some issues with your blood pressure levels, so those movements of your blood cells, okay, so that is regulated, and then it is used in order to release the drug, whenever it is. So for example, right, whenever somebody is having diabetes, so insulin should be injected in order to get it balanced, right? So in that case, similar to that, the drug also could be released to the level in which we want. So for this, we have an option which could be worked upon, and this data can very well be mapped, traced, and then it could also be processed later for the later stage. Okay, so there is some red blood cell derived vesicles where this will help us in order to regulate the blood flow, and then also in order to give a therapy for them. So that also is done, the treatment, your how much drug has to be what is it, like injected, right? So or is released, not injected, it's released to your cells. So that also could be derived from these cells. Okay, so like you are giving some knowledge to it. So it's like giving some knowledge to it. So this machine everybody would have seen, right? When you go to your eye checkup and all, you have some machines, and then sometimes you go to a scan for scanning, you have some machines. So these machines, they are well programmed, right? So this is human machine interface system, what we have. So in this also is a lot of innovations that is going on. Okay? So to process the data, whenever you scale the data, right? Scaling how much you will be scale to that particular. So you would have noticed, right? Whenever you take your eye checkup, right? So automatically all the data will be displayed on that particular machine. Similarly, when we do a scanning process, automatically whenever the doctor gives a benchmark of all the points, it has to be accessed. So it will automatically scale the image, as well as it will reduce, increase the scale, and you can process. So all these processes we need the software behind it, right? And then there should be some interactivity between the hardware, the software, and then the human will give certain input. So all these three interactions will happen. Okay, so in this area also, lot of innovation. So next is gait and mobility assessment toolbox. So this is, for example, when you are in a condition, then all your vitals will be set. And all your movements, your what is it, your elbow movement, whenever you jog, right? And whenever you do your regular activities, when they're bedridden or when they are not able to walk, right? So in that case, each of their movements could be tracked using this mobility assessment. So based on this also, a lot of automation work is going on. Okay, one is for health, right? To understand your health, and the next one is in order to make your increase your mobility also very good. So this is also one of the innovation, which is most worked upon. So I need not tell about 3D printing. So all your wearable devices, right, as I told you, normally is manufactured. So now we have 3D printers to do that. Okay. So now what 3D printers can do more? It can even print your organs. Right? So I think a lot of research are going on related to printing your organs. Okay. So have anybody undergone some articles or some materials related to organ printing? Have some idea on organ printing? Okay. So with respect to the 3D printing, the one important thing what you have to think about is what is the material using which we print. So based on that, your machine will work. Okay. So if your entire machine should be, it is not about just printing. Okay. So it is based about what material we use for printing and how it should be optimized for printing. And then in case of machineries and in case of organ printing, no, we should not have any flaw in that. Okay, so there are a lot of innovations that is going on while printing. Okay, so yeah, normally a 3D image will be given and the image will be printed, and there will be slices or layers. So those layers has to be calculated exactly without any flaw. And even while printing, no, how to check whether it is printed flawlessly, each and every layers are printed flawlessly, and in the positions and in the points, everything has to be tracked and processed. So in this also a lot of innovation, I mean not innovation, a lot of work is going on where you can optimize a lot of things. Okay, and then with respect to healthcare, organs even are printed. Now think about the accuracy that we need, and then how reliable the organ should be, and how reliable the materials that is used for printing should be. Right? So in this also a lot of research is going on. And next is about orthopedic insoles, right? So under your shoe you have some layer. Okay, nowadays what we do is like if you have some issues in your knee or in your foot, right, we keep insoles, right, that is separately sold. So I get a shoe, I get an insole, insert it, and then work upon it, right? So now here we have to track the points, okay, the points in your feet, right? So your insoles will be designed in such a way that from each of the tracking points, it will be tracked, and then your entire health will be monitored, right? So this also is now used in order to have a regular follow-ups of your diabetic conditions. And then know, for example, when you go for an workouts, right? So when you go for an workouts, and how it is reflecting, no, for your, so because like you do a workout based, normally whenever you do workout, so we depend on the calories that is burnt, right? So instead of that, from this insole we can get lot of information. So which particular points are invoked, which are not invoked, and where you have the pressure, and even no, it could be thought about having relativity with your acupuncture process also, right? Whereas specifically it is used for even, you know that, right, whenever a diabetic person is there, so he may have issues in the foot, right? So few of the points may not be working once his level of diabetes goes high, right? So that also could be diagnosed, no? So exactly you can treat him based on what is the issue in that, right? So for this also we take the data, we process it, okay, and then we have the intimation, and then sometimes we design the insoles also based on this, right? We what is it, like refabricate that insoles also. So all these are happening. So these are the innovations what we have. So whatever I have given you is like a few areas, you know, which you can think about, and generically when I say with respect to your biomedical innovations, you can think about artificial intelligence is one area, one domain in which we can think about something. Next is medical imaging. So all your imaging process. So next is what wearable technology you can think about, and then 3D printing and telemedicine. Right. So nowadays, we are at a place. Okay, we are at a place and we are not able to go and then visit doctor, right? So or else you cannot go and procure your treatment and all that. So in that case, telemedicine will help you. And surgical robotics, I need not tell you, right? So surgical robotics nowadays is done. I'll give you some samples also later on, what is currently done in our industry. Okay, and then camera pills, right? When there is some issues with your colon or something, intestine and all, we have camera pills which will be sent inside, which could take the pictures of all your working process, your system's digestive system, and then it gives you. So that also, that data is tracked. Okay, for that also we have tracking systems. And next is, so for example, you drive a vehicle, you sit in your chair. Nowadays you could see a lot of issues comes at the age of like 40 or something. We have some shoulder pain, and we don't know what is the reason for it, right? So the position in which we sit, right, and then the pressure that we give to the particular nerves, right? So that is also important. While we drive the vehicle drive the vehicle, the position of the vehicle, the position in which you sit and drive, and all that are related to the way in which your neurons, your neural network works, right? So it means that each and every, for example, flow could increase or flow could decrease, right? So that will also, that is also related to your aesthetics, how you work upon. So for that also, we have a lot of innovation. So I could see a lot of work is done in order to optimize the way in which we design our vehicles, the way in which you have your sitting posture, right? So all of that, we have a lot of R&D work going on that. Okay? So next is with respect to biotechnological inventions, if you take it. So you have gene therapy and genetic engineering, right? So lot of work is going on with respect to that, in reversing your your characteristics and reversing your diseases and all, right? So regenerative medicines, your stem cells, right? So these are few innovations we can think about. So this can very well be replicated in form of applications. That is what is important, right? So whatever we do, everybody knows that neural networks is a replica of the way in which a human thinks, right? So whatever the process I do, for example, if I want to take a decision, whatever the process I do, it is replicated or even simulated using your deep learning or deep neural network, right? So and then your diagnosis, I need not tell you, right? So diagnosis of two things. One is like your images, what you have, your videos, what you have, and then if you consider your EEG, right, the flow of signals also is considered, right? So all these are used for diagnostic inventions. And then for vaccine development, that because like during COVID and all, right? So we have a lot of technology, about that also we'll discuss later on. Okay. So vaccine development, how some of the software technologies are used in order to enable or in order to improve the method in which vaccine development can happen. Okay. So this combating antibiotic resistance is diagnosing how a particular medicine gives a particular effect to your body based on all whatever the innovations I told you earlier, right? One or the other way we try to find the mobility between the cells, right? So enabling technology is again AI and bioinformatics. So this is some of the innovations that is happening in today's industry and in the industry in which I work on, right? So dialysis, right? You know what is dialysis. So there are certain machines, automated machines which could help you in doing right? So think about how critical, okay, how critical it is to access the parameters and then automate the dialysis process. Okay, so the movement of your vaccines, your drugs, and all that, right? So has to be regulated, right? And then the same point of time, the patient's vitals also has to be tracked, right? So this should be mapped. So all these are today done with the application. So they do this. Okay, so we do a automated hemodialysis equipment. Okay. And then next is XR. So all your virtual reality, your imaging, right? So this helps patients and doctors, okay, during surgery daily, right? During the surgery in order to what is it like simulate, right? How your organs and the positions of the organs, no? Using reality, what they do is like they try to generate more ideas on it. Okay? So next is post-operative care also, right? After operation, so there are a lot of entries that is made, which instead of manually doing it, automatically that will check and then give the feedback, and the feedback is processed, and then normally the doctors at their place, they can try to find out what is the thing that is happening, right? And even they can suggest medicines, everything through on. So that is one of the what is it like application that is being developed. And next is whenever we manufacture the medical equipment. So how to, because like you know that, right? You have certain equipment in order to track your vitals, and then no, that should have to be very much secure. Right? It should not be anyhow. The data should not be leaked. Right. So in that case, whenever we manufacturing it, as no previously the reverse person is telling you, right? So it is not so easy for them to create a medical equipment, right? So they have lots of standards that has to be maintained, and then lot of measures. No, there should be a lot of protocols that have to be followed in order to keep their system secure, right? And then next one is it should be all the equipment what we create should be calibrated properly, right? Because all these are related to humans. So it is not like hardware, developing a hardware or developing a mechanical component, right? So this is everything we do with respect to humans, and then obviously the security part we are supposed to handle it with care, right? According to standards and protocols. So with respect to this medical equipment manufacturing, so there are a lot of cyber security measures that is taken. All right, so that is very important with respect to any. All right, and then health plans and clinical. So think about health plans, right? So with history of all your data, what we do is like we suggest health plans for this particular person. All right, we also whatever the data that you have with that, we also provide them with clinical review. Okay, so automatically this GenAI is used in order to what is it like generate what health plans you can suggest for a particular person, or what clinical conditions he is in, and then what particular step that he has to take in order to go in for the next treatment. All that is systems are developed for. So these are some of the applications which our industry concentrates. Just to give an idea on what. So far what I have given you is where all you have opportunities. Where all you have opportunities to look into. So next you are going to create a patent, or you may be involved in some research, and parallelly you have to create a patent. So in that case, these are all the areas if you have not aware of it, you can do. And if you are aware of it, then you can go in there. Right? So your next step should be in order to find out what is the current R&D activities that is going on. So normally what do we do? Whenever if you want to know the current activities that is going on, number one, we look into the journals. Then we look into the intellectual properties that created, which is relevant to this. So these two are the things that we normally do in order to know what is happening. Because like today, everything is globalized. Right? We cannot think about one particular geographical area and decide something. So if every place, if at every place we need to have certain what are the inventions to be used, right? To be used. That is what is important. To be used, then we should have consider all the factors around us, right? So it is not like just do a study about what's happening in our geographical area and decide upon something in this, right? The same invention work that you do is maybe different for different geographical areas. Right? So in that case, we should know entirely all the options. So across the world, across the globe. So obviously we need to track what is happening across the world. So in that case, what we need to do is like we should have a proper mechanism in order to do that searching process. Right? I think you had some sessions on pattern search. Is that correct?
Yeah, we had yesterday.
Yeah, yes, you had yesterday. So, so with respect to this pattern search, so one option what you have is like you may be working on some area, right? You may be working on some area, and then you will try to create some intellectual properties related to that, right? So can I get some inputs from you such that you're working on a specific area, one or two area in which you're working, so that we could discuss upon that? So because like you may be in one particular research area, you may be working on a particular research area. Fine. Anyway, I'll discuss in general and then I'll give you where all I need to give emphasis. Okay. So I need not tell you about what are all the types of intellectual property. You already know that, right? So one is patent, where it starts. Then is trademark, copyright, design, and trade secrets. Right? I think all of you are aware of what is the difference between each one of it, and then what type of intellectual property that you have to use in order to hold the rights with you. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, of course. So, and also one more, this depends on the place you are also, right? So if you are in India, whenever you have a software component being developed, so normally we go in for filing copyrights. Am I right? So the same way, if I file a patent in US, even software could be created as patents, right? That depends on. So, and next is like what type of research you do and what type of work you do. Based on that, you try to create that intellectual property. So can you name some of the types of patents that you know? Types of patents?
Product pattern, process pattern, design pattern.
Yeah. Done. So with respect to your healthcare and then with respect to your medical field, right? So you have to categorize, okay? You have to classify your innovations into an area under which you could create an intellectual property, right? So I'll give you an example, a real-time example, which will help you in order to identify how design patterns will help you. Okay, so in case of healthcare, okay, so whenever you have some issues, okay, whenever you have some issues with your elbow, right? So you met with an accident, right? You have some issues with your elbow. Have you checked, what are all the options that you have in order to make it ready, right? So you have lot of provisions, and the innovations with respect to the design that they have done is will help you in order to get rid of the problem very sooner. Okay. So I think I'll give you some idea on that. Wait a minute. I think you're able to see that, right? Whatever I'm here. Yes, can you see this now? You're able to see the search result of mine, right?
Yes, madam, it's visible.
Yeah, yes, because like I wanted to say, no, how design patterns are very important. So here, whenever when I met with an accident and then I went to doctor, no, each one of them suggested different what is it like provisions in order to get the fracture done. Okay, so this thing is one of the option that they give, right? But whereas when I met a doctor, an option, no, where I need not go for the sling, right? I have only a single, what is it like, single patch, no? That design, no, really it helped me a lot. I can show that for you. Are you able to see this? Yes. Using your camera, can you able to see this? Yes or no, then?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So see here, no, one of the doctor, no, suggested this sling for me. Okay. And another doctor, no, some socks is there, no, to put it in the elbow. Lot of things they did, no. But whereas I was running behind the doctors, I met many doctors, no, nobody were able to make it fine. Okay. So then I met one doctor where you could see this. So this is one patch. Okay. So this patch is the one which will press the muscle where I have a sprain in the okay. So this is what is the importance of design pattern. Okay. So in the industry, there are n number of patterns available. Right. Design patterns available for this. Based on the patterns only, they would have done all this. Right. But the solution, okay. So the solution, what we give is very important. So it is purely based on the design, what they have done. So even the change of one patch in that will cause lot of what is it like difference in the way in which it is used, it works. Right. So this is what is important with design pattern. You may not think that it is. So what you do, we normally think that for these are all the options. Doctors give these are all the options, so we use it, right? But in order to use it, right? So somebody has to innovatively think, no. So these are all the problems we have, and so for this problem, these are all the solutions what we have, and then they have created a design such a way that no, so it is like optimizing, finding the alternatives. They would have come with this, right? So because carrying all this is very difficult for us while we travel, and whereas it was very easy for me to handle it, and also the problem, the issue has been solved very easily, right? So this is what is important of design pattern. So whatever that you do, it is not about healthcare device. It's about any devices what we have, right? So the important thing is like how you design it is very important. So even though a minor change in the design could cause a lot of changes in the way in which it works, right? So whenever we look into patterns, it is in this way. Whenever we have something, so trademarks usually are commercial, right? We need not think about it because like it is all related to the organizations, what they think about this trademark. But we can do something with related to patents for sure, right? So and then, so Next is about trade secrets. So whenever we take healthcare, we have lot of provisions to have trade secrets, right? So I think everybody will have shorts, reels, and all that, right? We have nowadays we have what is it? We spend most of the time in that side. So once I search for diabetes, okay, I have diabetes. So once I search for it, I get n number of options for me, right? I have n number of options for me. So use this instead, all options, right? Whereas whatever you do, right? So trade secrets will help you, right? In order to keep it secure, unless otherwise, right? So everybody will follow that, right? If at all it is put as a reel or if at all it is put as a short, then everybody will come to that. That is good. But whereas when you go for commercial things, when you go for an aspect of innovation, right? So what we do is like we have to maintain a trade secret, right? So which another person should not receive. So whenever we create it, for all the process healthcare, it is very important. Because nowadays, we have lot of n number of options for the same, same disease, same, to create same type of materials, process, composite materials, whatever you have, right? So trade secrets are one of the ways in which you can protect your, your concepts and the way in which you work out, right? So next, so this is what an important point. One is, as I told you, right? As of now, we can only do copyright with respect to Indian patents. Whereas if it is in US patents or any other European patents, we can go for creating it as a patent. Okay. So, in all the healthcare software that we use, right? So I have given the healthcare software, whatever we use, and then these all are related to copyrights or patents in other countries, right? So I think most of the things you are aware of. One is integration of AM. Okay, so this is with respect to data. Okay, and then next is, as I told you, this is with respect to privacy storage. And next is Internet of Medical Things. Okay. So this is area in which, right, you can think about something to make your entire system process. Okay. So can anybody of you tell what is the basic thing, what could not be patented? Whenever we try to file a patent, so what is the basic thing you should not do? It should not do. So what basic thing it should have?
It should not be already available, ma'am, or already patented.
It should not be patented. Then anything else? It should be novel. It should be novel. And one more thing is like, it should not be near associated.
Softwares cannot be patented.
Yeah, software cannot be patented. Only they can be copied.
Traditional use.
Yes. So medicine, right? So this, with respect to this Internet of Medical Things, okay, why I emphasize this, like whenever we try to create a pattern, which is just association of the components already available, okay, all the components are already available. You try to put them together and try to create a pattern. Okay, that is also not acceptable, right? Unless otherwise it gives them value addition. Unless otherwise it gives them value addition or change in the way something is worked. Right? So, for example, what is it like? I have one component, I have another component, try to plug in these two components, and both of them are going to do the same work. Right? Finally, the output of that will be the same. So, in that case, we cannot pattern that, right? So, So whenever we think about Internet of Medical Things or IoT, even IoTs, right? You should not just try to associate all components and create a software, right? So in that case also, the way in which it works, right? And you should not also basically use one particular software name, right? One particular software name, or it should not work only for that particular software, right? That particular packages, that amount should not be there, right? So whenever I go in for a copyright, so if you are trying to merge the code, or whenever you are going for a patent, you are trying to put the components together, so there should be some novel application in it. Okay, so the applicability should be novel. So there should be some process, okay, which is novel in that while you communicate all those devices. So that also you have to think of. So anybody know what is digital twin technology? Any idea on this? Any one of you? Digital twin? I think many of them are working on this nowadays. So there is one object, okay? You create a digital equivalent of that. Okay, create a digital equivalent of that and make it work. So once whatever the issues that you have for the object, that will be replicated in the digital twin, and then we try to solve it. Okay, for example, a car, right? A car, or else whenever you have, you have circuit boards, right? You create a digital twin of that. Nowadays, this technology is used most of India, right? Digital twin technology, and also there are a lot of R&D going on in academic institutes. A lot of them are doing digital. Okay, just have a look on this, because this will be helpful. Like when we go for robotics, right? So all the activities, you replicate it. Right? So this digital thing will help. Right? So VR and AR, right? So and then blockchain to manage supply chains. I'll tell you how to do. Next is nanomedicine. Okay? So all your miniature of your medicines, what you have. So instead of processing it in a larger scale, have it in a very small scale, which could give you a maximum effect. Okay. So edge computing, I need not tell you, right? If you have multiple, so everybody nowadays, the data is not processed at one place. Okay, we use different devices in order to process your data.
Ma'am, I have a doubt, ma'am.
Yes.
What about the animation characters, ma'am? Can it be a copyrighted?
Animation characters.
Yes, ma'am.
It could be, it could be copyrighted. Okay. Characters could be copyrighted, whereas you have a proper definition for it.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. That is whatever each and every functionality, each and every we normally call it APIs. Okay. So the components will interact within themselves, right? If you have a proper structure of it, if you have a work, which is not, we should not use some other plugins that is already available. That plug and play we should not have.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
So then edge computing is, that, right? I have one mobile device, I have one laptop, I have one washing machine, right? And then I have multiple nodes, multiple layers in which all of these are working. Right. So then if I want to do that in a centralized place, it is very difficult for me to do the process at one place where I have a higher computing. So what I do is I'll try to distribute my computing power to the edge where it is being used. Okay. So for example, if I have a mobile device, I have some small computing unit which will do the process in the mobile itself instead of pushing all the data together at one place and work on it. Right. So that is what is edge computing. So in case of healthcare, right? So nowadays we go in for cloud, right? Whatever the data that you have is pushed onto cloud. So for example, I will be admitted in one hospital. No, now you have all cloud hospitals, the same hospitals, same network providers, everything, right? So there will be movement of health, your what is it, like your records, health records across the hospitals, right? So in that case, whenever I do this, right, I have a large cloud space and I need to provide all the security mechanisms. We have a lot of protocols to be followed, right, in your software and then in your data that you process. So how do we do that, right? And then you need a larger computational power if I want to do some process with respect to my images, videos and all, right? So all that, no, when we do going for real time, so what other mechanism? One is cloud computing, one is edge computing. All these are mechanisms which could help us in order to process our data, okay? So at different locations, at different infrastructures, okay? So, and then predictive analysis, you know, so whatever we process through your neural networks, whatever we process through the machine learning networks, the final output of that will be predictive analysis, right? This is what I told, organ care technology and bioprinting, right? So organ care technology is like your pacemakers, right? So which is controlled by software. And then bioprinting, I told you, right? So this is printing of your organs. So for all this, we can have copyrights, right? So whenever we create something, right, which is at the back of the hardware, which is going to work, on which it's going to work upon, then we can put it as in form of a copyright. In India, if it is in US, you can very well file it as a patent as well, okay, which involves hardware. Okay, so so you know what is WIPO, right? We have done a lot of sessions in that, right? Yes. Yes or no?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay.
World Intellectual Property Organization.
Yes, done. So can you see this classifications? So whenever you go and because like this is just a guideline for you. Whenever you want to search for something, right? So they would have told you what strategies you should use to search and all that. So these are some classifications what you have, so which will guide you in order to help search exactly what you want. Right? The search that you perform, right? The search that you perform, maybe in any one of this, right? You should be exactly trying with all the options, right? So I'll give you some samples, based on which all these things are done. So why I emphasize this is, it is not necessary that any one of your invention, right? So which is related to healthcare should be there in human necessities always, right? So it could be any other category as well, right? So I'll give you, when this slide is distributed to you, you'll have those links, okay? And just have a look at the classifications. And whenever you look at the classifications, you may get some new inventions or some new ideas where you would not have thought about, right? So once the link is there, you can just have a look on this. So what are all the classifications is very important. Okay, inside this you have a subclassification, inside this you have a subclassification. So you should, whenever you have a patent, so that patent, whichever classification it is suitable, it will be filed. But whereas there are certain provisions in order to have cross-functional, so in that case you should be able to get your exact innovation. So you may not get caught into infringement. Okay, so for that. So these are all the things, whenever you do some search, this information you can have a look on that. Whenever I'll give this for you, you can check it. One is like where you have to search, and the next one is parameters. What all you have a separate guidelines for the parameters. How to use those parameters also, you can take it. And then what classification also you should know, then you can take it. Okay. So here are some results. Have you come across such results? Yes, do you know what this is? Anyone? So any idea on what is patent landscape analysis? So simple, okay. So just look at this. It's a keyword, right? Blockchain in healthcare is a keyword. So once you look at the analysis that you got from this, okay. So the same WIPO gives you the analysis. So in this analysis, why do we need to look into this is how many people are parallelly working on this, okay, and how many companies are working on this. Next is under which classification they are working on this, right? So think about blockchain in healthcare. Only A, A is related to healthcare, human. Can you see this? Human necessities, only A is there, okay? So whereas when you look at the results, there will be other classification on which many persons will be working on, right? Not only it may be in healthcare, right? So there will be, this results will help you in order to identify where all you have to go and check whether your innovation is really novel or not. Okay, and also with respect to countries, you can have look on it with respect to the years, what are all the number of invention in each year. This you can look at it. So this is called actually pattern landscape analysis. Okay, so anyway, you will have all the sessions later on. I need not give you much information on this. Only thing which I wanted to tell is you always check, do a analysis for entire landscape, and then you check for a particular period of work, and then you check for particular geographical area. So all these are you have to concentrate on. Your results will be more refined. Okay. Okay. So these are all a few of the things which I took it for your information. See that fMRI, right? I told you functional MRI, right? So there are only less number of inventions related to this. Okay, or work that is going on with respect to this. So you can think about, okay, think about having some work. If you're going to start some work on or some analysis, or if you think about your IP, or if you think about some publications, right? You can think about, you can go in for working in the area where you have less number of inventions. So, and also this fMRI, among the inventions what I have given, fMRI has less number of inventions, and also you can check with free whenever seaweed. Okay, so seaweed also less number of seaweed sensors, also less number of invention is happening. You can think about it. Okay, what you could do. Okay, so and then next. Okay, so next with respect to healthcare, I have told you that there are a lot of innovations that is going on. Okay, here you can see with respect to data what you can do with this, right? So with respect to healthcare, what are all the possibilities that you can work upon is, one is you can work upon electronic health records, right? Then is claims data. So with all your insurance and all that, you can work upon it. Then is clinical or disease registries, right? So each and every hospital has clinical or disease registries where you have classifications, where you have all your diagnosis, everything will be there. And you also have data with respect to imaging, right? You can think about working on this data. Then next is public health and government data sets. So for example, during your COVID and all, public health and government data sets would have released some data sets on which many people were working, and then they have a lot of diagnosis that is done on that, right? So you may be asked to work upon or ready to work upon all these three types of data. So how to work upon structured data, how to work upon unstructured data, and semi-structured data, right? So structured data is your electronic health records. You will have all in form of tables, and unstructured data is your images, right? And then semi-structured is you may have images and then structured data all put together, right? So it will be semi-structured. So this what is the relationship between all your medical devices, and this is the data that is generated from your medical devices will be in this form, and you will be working upon this, right? So all your AI technologies, every AI technology will work upon these data sets, right? So if it is only you're thinking about some innovations which is going to be for that particular point of time, right? So only it is periodical. So you're going to use the data only this for this period of time. Okay, so like discrete data, what you have, right? So in that case, that is different. But whereas if you're going to use it for further diagnosis, for further purpose, obviously you have to know what are all the data sets that is generated out of those devices and how to process it, and how this could help you in doing something new. Okay, and then next is about blockchain technology. So can any one of you, or do you have any idea on what blockchain technology is, how it is helpful for healthcare? Just if you have some idea on blockchain also, it's fine. Not necessarily that in healthcare how it is used. Any one of you? Blockchain, just blockchain? Okay, fine. So with respect to, first I'll tell you what is blockchain, and then next we'll come to how it is used for healthcare. Okay. So now, nowadays we use, as I told you, nowadays we use everything in cloud. The data available in a sparse geographical area. Okay, all the data will not be there in one single system. Okay, so for example, if I have everything in one single system, then it is easy for me to secure it. Right, I may use some encryption technologies or some password or authentication, ID management. Some mechanism I use in order to secure my data. But whereas, right, if my data is available in different places and in different applications, so for example, I may be having one application which is created in Java, another person may have created in .NET, the output that is generated, the data that is stored, maybe he may store in a structured way, I may store it in a semi-structured way. Okay, so like that, we have diversified data because many parties are trying to use the same data, and it is generated at different places. Okay, so now all these data which is available at different places, okay, in different formats, right, and then it should be secured and it should be used only by particular set of people and set of people with different access levels. Okay, very simple. You take a bank. When you go to the bank, so you want to take the amount from your account. So you will go to the operator, and operator will enter, and he'll be able to take the amount. So if you're going to take only the amount, then it is fine. You want a loan. So this is the person. This level of the person cannot decide whether he can give loan for you or not. So then he should approach the next level of person. Next level of person need different set of data in order to decide it. Right? So on his approval, that data should not be disclosed to everyone. So it should be disclosed to only set of peoples. Right? So in that case, the access levels are different. Okay, and what type of access is also different. So the operator can only view the data. He cannot transfer the data. Whereas the bank manager, he can do a bit more. Right? As a user, you can do a bit more. Right? Like this, the levels, and this is called actually isolation levels. Okay. So different levels, different access to be given, and the data, the same data, it will be moved to next level. So for example, I read the document, I sign it. Then it will be read by the next level. He will sign it. Then it will move to the next level. He will sign it. So like this, your data will be moved to next levels, and who can view the data will be different set of people, right? So in that case, this blockchain technology is used, okay, to secure your data at multiple levels with different access rights based on the keys what you have. Okay, so once I sign it, so based on the sign, another, what is it, like a key will be generated, and based on that another key will be generated. So once somebody is breaking the chain, you will be able to easily find out, right? So the block which is signed will be further signed by somebody, So if in the middle, if somebody has to view that, he'll be given with the key to open only till that. No, he cannot see beyond that. What is his restriction? Only he'll be able to see, but he'll be given the authorization to view that. Once if somebody is changing it, right, and the final person will be given a key, so that key will not work because the chain is break in the middle, right? So that is what is blockchain actually. So if somebody breaks it in the middle, so the final person, even he gets the data, he cannot use it, but the data has been changed or it has been taken by somebody, right? So like that, no, this chain will continue, no, the chain of encryption and decryption will continue, and then various levels of access and various types of access will be provided to those persons. So now coming, no, this is general concept of blockchain. Okay, so how is this related to medical terms? Can any one of you think about it? You want a clue? Okay. So now, no, the scenario, actually this blockchain technology has been into healthcare, no? Yeah, please tell
The
me.
patient's test results may be seen by the doctors, but not by everyone.
Yeah, yes. So then, and one more thing is like, even no, in hospital will have an access. Okay. So for example, if I want to claim for it, all the records will not be viewed by the claiming person. No, he'll only view the bills, not the reports. And whichever report we need, only we give access to those reports. Okay, that is one thing. And the other important thing when this came into existence, no, is during COVID time. Okay. So multiple persons were working on, finding the vaccines for the COVID, right? So the symptoms we know in different areas, different data would have been generated, vaccines, different formulas, everything, no? So everybody were scattered, right? We were not able to come together. No, usually what we have councils, medical councils all sit together and they will discuss upon, right? It will not be done over online and all, right? So everybody will sit and work together and work upon it. But during this COVID time, nobody were able to physically move somewhere, right? And then there are many persons who are working on the same, same solution. So now, no, in order to make everybody know what is happening at the other end, right? So it became like what you say is like, it is like open invention. Just go and search as open invention. So then you'll know. Okay. So everybody are working towards it. Okay. So in that case, in order to share this, right, somebody else, no, from other country, they should not take it and do something on that. Okay. So they should not change the formula. So they should not change or take the records. No, they should not change the statistics. So they are very particular in passing the information. Okay, you're doing like everybody are doing together, working together, but nowhere the data should be privacy of the data should be a threat, right? So in that case, what they did is like they use blockchain technology to, so this person, if he want to look at what is the invention that's happening, if he have a proper key with him, he can go and access it, and he can get the key, he can open it, he can see it, and if he have done something or updated something, or if we have some comments, he'll add it, and then again the data will be encrypted, and then it will be passed on to the next person, so that who are all working on that, right, can work upon the same invention, right, without affecting the others. So everybody will see so actually we in computer terms, we have something called repository. Okay, like GitHub. I think everybody use GitHub, right? So GitHub is used to store something in common. So if you have done some work, if you put on GitHub, every other persons can come and look at your work, who have the access, for whom you give the access. And multiple persons, if they are working at the same point of time, all of them will put their updates on that without affecting other person's update. So there will be some policy. Okay, so which has to be updated, which should not be updated, all that, it is a different process, right? So similar to that, open invention, this blockchain has given some options, for this open invention. That too, during COVID time, it was very much useful. And also one more thing is, like, if multiple parties, okay, multiple stakeholders are involved in a particular activity or transferring the data, right? So this blockchain technology should help us, right? So in healthcare during this COVID time only, it has been used mostly in order to have this inventions of this vaccine, drugs and all. Yes. So I think I have given you some information on what are areas you can concentrate on. Yes. Anything you wanted to know from me other than this? So anyway, this PPT will be given to you just while you do the search and all. Just you can just have a go through of that. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am, for the nice and informative session with live examples. And participants, do you have any questions to ask? I think there is one question in the chat box.
Yeah.
So if animation characters are copyrighted, how can we see their toys in retail stores, etc., but using as such without permission?
Yeah, you're using it, right? You're not creating one. Right? Am I right? See,
So,
all, yeah. Yes.
so this was asked by Vishwanath. So sir is here.
Yeah, sir. Sharing. Sir, Vishwanathan, sir.
Yes,
See,
madam.
we can have a look and feel of the product, but we cannot recreate one. That's it.
Any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So if there are no questions from the participant side, thank you so much, ma'am, for spending your valuable time with us. And yeah, the link for the feedback is posted on the chat box as well as in the WhatsApp group. So participants, kindly fill in the feedback form, and it will be enabled for 30 minutes, after which the responses will be blocked. And yeah, if there are no questions, thank you, ma'am, so much.
Yeah, okay, fine.
So tomorrow, the meeting will start exactly at 6 p.m. So please be present. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone.